22nd of February 2011. Chris Reardon with today's United Kingdom talk. And do you know what? Did I have this T-shirt on yesterday? I'm such a tramp, aren't I? I think I might have I've forgotten to change my T-shirt for the show today. Can you ever forgive me again? You see, this is why we need makeup and wardrobe people here at United Kingdom Talk. We absolutely do. Those of you that watched the video will see yet another 2 logos today. Enormous expense from that wonderful site that I discovered, Fiverr.com, where you can get anything done for $5. So it's about £3.50, £3.60 like that. 2 new logos at the beginning and at the end. I particularly like the one at the end, which is a flag flying. Very, very clever how these people do these things. Do you drink fizzy drinks? Now, this is something that my dentist, whenever he finishes the appointment, he always finishes it off with, don't forget to keep flossing and try to stay awake from fizzy drinks and anything that's got acid in it, anything citrus. He doesn't like me eating oranges or anything like that. Anyway, and there was this article in the Daily Mail yesterday that says a daily can of diet fizzy drink, so it's not even the stuff with all the sugar in it, increases risk of heart attack or stroke. It says those that drink diet soft drinks are 43%, okay, 43% more likely to have a heart attack, and carbonated drinks can cause long-term liver damage similar to that of chronic alcoholism. Now, how you feel about that, you know, can of diet, whatever it is, diet lemonade, whatever it is you've got next to you at the moment, that we were just about to drink? It goes on, it says, just drinking a single can of diet fizzy drink can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke. New findings suggest that just a couple of daily cans of the supposedly healthier carbonated drinks, obviously, you know, the diet ones, can raise the risk of liver damage as well as potentially causing diabetes and heart damage. Now, I always thought that diabetes was caused by eating too much sugar, you know, chocolates and cakes. You know, I mean, I have chocolate now and again. I don't think I overdo it on the chocolate, but I'm well aware that, you know, if I always thought that it was the sugar. So surely, if it's the diet drink that's causing it, it's not necessarily the sugar. It's something else. And it goes on, previous analysis of soft drinks have shown soft drinks which have a substantial amount of artificial sweeteners, okay, can cause liver disease similar to that caused by chronic alcoholism. So there we are. So interesting now. I thought I'd give you that little piece of news there, which has surprised me, to be honest. You see, you should be like me, really. I'm teetotal, absolutely teetotal. I don't like fizzy drinks. I think they're full of sugar. Even and the 1 calorie and diet bits, they taste blooming awful, don't they? If you ever had one of those diet Coke or something like that, they just don't taste nice. Teetotal, that I don't drink alcohol at any time. I don't take drugs. I don't smoke. I just drink tea, and I like my proper food. And I do have my weaknesses are, as regular viewers will know and listeners, cheese and onion crisps and Cadbury's Dairy Malt chocolate, and Crunchies and Galaxy chocolate as well. And fudge. Oh, God, vanilla fudge. Can't you just die for a bag of vanilla fudge? So they're mine. But interesting that, isn't it? You know, so maybe you too should become teetotal. Also here, the weather here in the UK is now very cold. Now, I don't think I'm going to complain because it's very, very late coming this year. I mean, here we are, first week in February, and the cold weather has arrived, like 2 months late. So I don't think I'm going to complain. I'm listening now. I can't hear. Nope. I can't hear that electricity gas meter going round too quickly. But again, in yesterday's Daily Mail, it says, a cold snap that has left dozens dead across Eastern Europe will reach Britain by the weekend. Temperatures are set to plunge far below freezing point, making the country even colder than the South Pole. We need to move to the South Pole. Forecasters are expecting overnight temperatures of between -8 and -10 on Friday. That is cold, especially as we've had such a mild winter now. And then it shows a picture a picture of someone on a bike, which I'll show you this actually. Come in. There's some idiot on a bike cycling through the snow. Why do they do that? Eh? Why, oh why, do people get their bikes out and cycle on snow and ice? I'll tell you what, it's really difficult to cycle on snow and ice. In fact, I don't anymore. I gave up. Although, I don't know what my mountain bike might be a bit better on snow and ice. Because I usually take the other bike out on, yeah, I might try that actually. Because I tell you what, where the forest is, I live very near a forest. And when it snows, it's just beautiful over there. Just beautiful. I have to take my little video camera out there and perhaps do some little bits and pieces. So how cold is it where you are? Are you going to keep warm this weekend? I do hope so. Because of course it is my birthday weekend, boys and girls. Oh yes, now you can, obviously you don't have my address, but I might give out my PayPal email address if anyone wants to make a little donation for me to buy my little self a birthday present. I know what you're thinking. Are you going out celebrating? No, I haven't celebrated for years my birthday, really. Mum and Dad tried to make my birthday very special. The thing is, as you become a teenager, you know, you move from sort of a little person to teenager, and your mum and Dad still pull out all the stops. They used to pull out all the stops for my birthday. And as I became older, you know, you get so ungrateful, don't you? Well, I don't know, well, you know, when you're sort of 16 years old and you walk into the room and there's mum and dad with party hats on, holding a cake and singing happy birthday with these big smiles. And why are you so embarrassed? Why can't you just stand there and be grateful for the effort that, I mean, of course I'm grateful now. It's too late now. They're both dead, you know. I'm so grateful now for those birthdays that they gave me, but at the time when I was a teenager, it was just, oh no, Mum, please don't sing me happy birthday, you know, like that. Why, isn't that funny? Why is that? You got any comments on that? Please let us know. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. House buying news, my offer has been accepted. I'm really pleased to tell you, my offer has been accepted. I actually got it for, I won't tell you the price, I got it for £5,000 less than the asking price, and £1,000 less than what he wanted me to go up. So you've got the price. Say, let me take a figure out of the air. Say the price of a house was £10,000. Well, you don't pay that. You rarely pay what the price is, okay? You would offer £8,000 and maybe go to £9,000. And indeed, that's what I did. I got it for a little bit less, actually. I got it for £1,000 less than what I thought I'd have to pay for it. So I'm really pleased about that. I think I mentioned to you, the place does need a complete decoration inside, you know, just a paint job, a little bit of cleaning up to do in there, but apart from that, that's it. And it's quite nice. It's a 2-bedroom place, garden on the front and the back, and it's really nice. It's really, really nice. I noticed the fence down one of the sides needs fixing because that's flapping about a bit, but that's probably the first thing I'll do when I get in there. So now it starts all over again. I've informed solicitors and mortgage, my money people, who deal with all that, and we get going all over again. Hopefully, it won't take as long as the 2-bedroom flat that I was going to buy that I pulled out of due to not being happy with the answers that come back from questions from Peveril, who were the managing company. It was just too much. I wasn't happy at all. So I had to pull out of that one, unfortunately. But of course, because there's no managing agent now or anything like that to deal with, then things should move along a little bit quickly. Of course, the people I'm buying the house for are now looking for a place to buy. So that has to happen as well. So there's all sorts of things you have to wait for. But hopefully, you know, I reckon, what are we now? February, March, April. I reckon May. So we'll see how quickly that one goes through. So I'm very, very pleased about that. Also, I have to tell you, in the house, in the living room in this place I'm buying, which I'm buying to let out, you see, there are 2 very, very unusual radiators in the living room. Instead of being like the radiators, you know, that you have at on the wall, sort of at the bottom, don't you? You have radiators there. These radiators are actually on the wall and are a strange shape. If I get in there again Probably not now, actually, till I've bought it. But I'll take some photographs and show you the radiators inside. They're very strange. Like, and you can actually buy all sorts of different radiators, all wonderful shapes and things that you literally replace the radiator that you've got already, and things go on the wall and they just see it. Very beautiful designs. Very bit expensive. I would imagine they paid quite a lot for those 2 radiators in the living room, but there we are. They've got gas central heating in there. Okay, what else am I going to tell you today? Really enjoying a TV programme at the moment from Australia called Nothing to Declare. Have you seen that, anyone? Programme called Nothing to Declare, all about the customs and immigration department and the quarantine immigration that you have to go through if you visit Australia. And it's a really good show. Shows you these people that are trying to bring in drugs and banned food substances such as milk, because Australia has so far managed to keep out lots and lots of very nasty diseases such as foot and mouth and various fungal and insects, mosquitoes and all that. They don't have them there. You know, they're very, very lucky not to have these things there. So their quarantine laws are extremely strict, as are, you know, drugs laws and things like that. And it's just beyond me. I mean, they catch so many people coming through. I have a couple of questions here, especially if you're Australian. Maybe you could answer these. Number one, according to that programme, you know, you are catching a lot that tries to come in. But I wonder how many of these banned items, whether it be the drugs, you know, or the banned plant and animal stuffs, how much of that actually gets through? Now, it does make you wonder, because, you know, they catch so many people. I mean, they don't stop everyone, do they? You know, this is the strange thing about it. How do you know who to stop and who not to stop? Now, I have to tell you, on my visits to Australia, I've been 4 times. Love the country. I absolutely love the country. You know, if I was younger, if I was sort of 30-ish, you know, I would, I think, try to go and live there. I absolutely would. I think it's a fantastic country, and I would try, but it's too late now. I'm 49. I can't really do that now. Although I gather, according to my cousin who runs the police on a little island attached to Australia, well, not actually attached, you know what I mean, attached to Australia, called Norfolk Island. He's there for another year. I gather from him that you could sort of retire there, which I suppose is an option, really. You know, something like that, but not yet. You know, I mean, as I said to you before, you know, I'm doing a job that I don't want to retire from. DJing, karaoke, quiz nights, this. I mean, you could almost class this as a job, although I don't get paid for doing it. You know, oh, you could really, but yes, I mean, so that's a possibility. But how much of this stuff actually gets through? It's worrying, really, isn't it? When you've got a country that's doing its best to keep out these nasties. Should we call them all nasties? They're all nasties. You know, whatever it is, trying to keep out the nasties. And it's a shame, you know. It would only take, I suppose, one lot of insects to get through in a plastic bag, and someone releases them, and then they multiply, and then that's out of control, isn't it? You know, and it would be just terrible. But the other thing is, these people trying to bring in stuff are just so stupid at times. They are so stupid. They really think that they can get through drugs, either, you know, sewn on the inside of their shoes or on the false bottoms of a suitcase. I've seen. What was the one last night I saw? Yes, they'd hidden drugs in, you know, those wheels. They're like a piece of concrete, I suppose. I think they're called grinding wheels. You know, so it's like, is it? No, it's not quite concrete, like a stone thing, and it's round, and you attach it to something else, and it turns around, and it grinds things down. Someone had opened one of these up, or made one of these, put drugs inside this wheel, and then put the concrete back on, whatever that stuff is, tar, I don't know what it is, and then sent it through the post, and they pulled it over because it didn't look right for the x-rays. These x-ray machines can see everything. They absolutely can. You cannot hide things. Another one I saw was, I think it was tent poles. Someone had bought a tent over, and they'd put drugs inside the tent poles. Once again, they got caught. You know, what is it that with people that they actually think they can beat the system by doing this? And, you know, they're not like little fines when you're bringing in drugs like that. You're in prison for 10 years. I mean, is it worth it? Why? Oh, what? They're stupid. People are stupid. And then there's the other ones who... I don't think this is a prisonable offence in Australia. I'm not sure. But certainly you get a fine of $220, which is quite a lot. And that's when you bring in food. And they're very, very strict. You cannot bring food into Australia in your cases. I don't know if that's all food or certain types. But if you've got any food, you have to declare it. And then the people, you go to a section, you say, hello, yes, I've got, I don't know, I mean, what would you say? I've got 10 bags of crisps. Here they are. And you show them and they will tell you, yes, you can, or no, you can't bring them in. Simple as that, right? If you are going through the nothing to declare and you get caught, the same thing happens, but you also get a $220 fine. So why don't they just go and declare it? And it seemed to me, there seemed to be an awful lot of Eastern European people, Far Eastern people, example China, Japan, people from Singapore, those sort of countries, that kept getting caught bringing in various nuts and insects, dead insects and things like that. And they were constantly being caught. And they're so stupid, though. They've got the case in front of them. It's been through the X-ray machine. And the customs bloke in Australia calls them over and he says, would you like to, is there anything in this case that you'd like to tell us about? And they say no. Are you sure there's nothing in there? And they say no. Right, and then they open the case and there it all is. You know, how stupid can you be? How stupid can you be? But there we are, you know, I mean, it's just beyond me how ridiculously idiotic some people are when they actually think they can get away with these things. But it's a great programme. One of the sadder things I saw was someone trying to bring in lots of reptile and exotic animals, tortoises and things like that. And they'd literally stuff them in socks. And things like that, put them in boxes and just ship them aboard. And they open these boxes and there's all these poor creatures, you know, coming out of socks and things. I think there were something like 48 of them in this box. And fortunately, they all survived. Fortunately. But what a dread... You see, there's no thought given to the animal, is there? What a dreadful, dreadful thing to do. And all for profit. There's no reason at all other than to make money. To make money out of living creatures. And it's just horrible. Horrible thing to do. Stuff all those animals in a box like that. So not pleasant at all. So if you've got time to see that one, I don't know where you are in the world. If you're here in the UK, I think it's on Pick TV, which is... or it's on Freeview and probably on Sky as well, Pick TV, and it's on, I think, around about 10, 11 o'clock at night, Monday to Friday. Okay, nothing to declare, border security, Australian border type programme. Great, great, great programme to watch, okay? On to some emails, boys and girls, and if you want to join in by email, my email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Shaun says, we were talking about people that spend more than they actually got. And Shaun says, I agree, Chris, I don't spend more than I have incoming, but that's because I only have my disability money, but my electric and gas firms seem to think I'm running a mansion. He says, I have my heating on only 2 days a week and do what I can to cut back. But all I can do is sit here in the dark, he says. Oh, I don't believe you're sitting there in the dark. Oh, come on, Shaun, send me your address. I'll send over some candles or something like that, all right? Get yourself some candles. Shaun also writes, I do believe, on the subject of bankers' bonuses, I do believe that people who have earned their bonus, like the fella at RBS, Stephen Hessler, should get it. Yeah, I think he should get that bonus as well. He should have taken that because he saved the bank. He's turned that bank around. He says, but do people who earn so much need such bonuses? Yeah, it is not possible to have a bonus in some other way, maybe a tax break or something. I don't know, but he does deserve a bonus. That's good management at great level. Yes, it certainly was. You know, I think he did a great job. It's no point, you know, sitting here just because you're jealous of people who have got so much money saying they shouldn't get that. They've done the job. Give the man the money. I say you should have had the money. Also on the subject of the bankers, James writes, "Hi Chris, the bankers' row from what you were saying is that people listen to the rubbish of the media too much, and I think the media like to bash people too much and cause too much to look at, to look. And the phone hacking row also, this is going on. That's what I think of the media going too far, and it needs to stop. I think the Royal Bank of Scotland top banker should be rewarded if he's done a good job. And as for the football club thing, people go there and pay the rip-off prices for the stinking rich bosses and players there and say nothing. Well, more the fool them, they should think about what they say." Yeah, now that is one thing, actually, James. Football clubs. Football clubs. Now, fortunately, I am not a football fan. I never had any interest in football at all. My dad, on the other hand, he was a great football fan. He used to support Queen's Park Rangers. And indeed, at his funeral in 1996, my mum had a ball made, you know, out of flowers in the colours of Queen's Park Rangers. But football never really interested me. But I was surprised to hear a couple of weeks ago, while I was doing my quiz night at Belushi's on Sunday, one of the boys there actually works at QPR grounds, and he was telling me it's £51 to go and watch a match. £51 for like 3 hours of football or whatever it is. I don't know, is it hour and a half football? I mean, if I was to go on my own, it would cost a lot of money. Can you imagine, like, a dad with 2 sons on a Sunday afternoon going out and spending 150 quid? Where are these people finding that money? 150 quid. You know, and football, it's all about money now. These players are getting far too much money. Far too much money. £50,000 for a week or something like that. It's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. James says, as for the split up of the United Kingdom, which might happen, it's rather sad, as I thought England, Wales and Scotland were brought together as a union to help each other. And it also makes me think, what will really happen if we all go it alone? Will it cause more financial trouble? Will we heal Peach? Oh, James, don't know what you're saying there. Will we heal Peach other in times? I'm not quite sure what you're saying there, James. You're going to have to check your emails before you send them off to me, mate, because sometimes it's a little bit difficult to understand. We will heal Peach other. I'm with you. Will we help each other? I've got you. Will we help each other in other times of trouble? It makes you think. And as for United England talk, means there's more opportunity for United Scotland talk as well. But I think people will still associate you with United Kingdom talk. Yeah, because I was just telling you, I have bought another domain just in case this happens, called englandtalk.co.uk. Okay, I've bought that as well now, just in case, you know, a couple of years down the line. Because we don't want it to go, dear, to someone else. If I have to rename them, we might have to rebrand the show, dear. If we broke up, wouldn't we? We couldn't call it that anymore, could we? Or people would say I'm old-fashioned. Pardon? I'm not old-fashioned, am I? He says, as for your teeth, you're not having much luck at the moment. Hope your troubles are over soon, and you should say something to the dentist if work is not going right. It's such a shame. Yes, that tooth that he worked on the other day, if I do that, you see, oh, that cold air hits that tooth at the back and it's not pleasant. I think the next thing he might try is putting a little bit of filling on the side of the tooth where we think the sensitivity is coming from. So that might be the next thing to do. But I'm leaving it for a few weeks to see what happens, okay? James says, as for the misfortunate stories you were on about, you making it sound like you're going to set up a You Been Framed camera clip show. Oh, if I did, I'd have a lot of money, wouldn't I? I don't know if them shows are still going well. As for stories, I've got a strange, funny story. When I was in Strasbourg, when I was younger, going to a conference for my local youth club, and it was breakfast time, and we were waiting by the entrance of a hotel. As I was a couple of minutes early for breakfast, and I was chatting to someone outside, and we saw this old bloke, and it wasn't me. It wasn't me, the old bloke. We saw this old bloke come past with a dog on a lead in one hand and a log on a lead in the other hand. A log? And we were finding it hard not to laugh. Why would you have a log on a lead? And we saw him again the next morning with his wife with 2 dogs and no log. We were absolutely baffled as to what was going on. From James. Thank you, James. What on earth? What is he doing with logs and dogs? It's all very mysterious. It really is. Finally today, we have an email here at last. Oh, hang on. No, where is it now? Oh, what am I going to read next? Oh, the long one or the short one? Oh, I don't know what to do now. I'll tell you what, yeah, we'll save the long one for Jennifer's sent in now. I haven't heard from Jennifer for so long. I'll read this tomorrow, Jennifer. And one more here from James, who says, "Hi, Chris, I managed at last to see The Iron Lady at the cinema today, which I saw a couple of weeks ago. I thought most of the film was very good, although strange with flashbacks. It gave insight onto how Margaret Thatcher got to power and major events while she was in power. Whatever you thought of her, though, the thing I didn't like about the film was that she was portrayed as a mad woman in the present, because it's sad to see her not in good health." And that's from James. Would you like some more film reviews? Yes, if you want to, James. That's all right, yeah. James, can you just do me a favour? Just send me 1 email per show, because it gets a bit complicated. So, you know, so watch the whole show and then do just 1 email per show. Then I'll be able to work it out, really. I don't think she's portrayed as a mad woman in the show. She's got the Alzheimer's disease, isn't she? You know, when unfortunately the brain doesn't function so much anymore. And it's always very, very sad to see that happen to anyone. In particular, I suppose, a member of your family. I mean, that must be just awful. And there's millions of people all over the world with Alzheimer's, and you know, obviously people's mums with Alzheimer's, and that must be very, very difficult when you go around and see your mum or your dad who have brought you up, and you go say hello and they don't know who you are. They don't know who you are. So a terrible thing. No, I don't think it was portraying her as being mad. It's just that it was a thing with that Alzheimer's thing. All right. As always, thanks for watching or listening, or both. Some people do both. There's a lot of people suddenly joined us just via the listening recently, which I've noticed. Perhaps you're one of them. How did you find out about us? Because there's been a sudden huge increase in the amount of daily downloads on the audio version of this show. When I say a sudden huge increase, we're talking like 3,000 a day. I don't know I don't know where you've all come from, brand new listeners, but you're very, very welcome along. Do drop us an email and tell us where you are, what you do, who you are, you know, what country you're in, and indeed what town, you know, not just the country, but the town as well, because I like to know where people are and perhaps where you heard about us, because I'm a little bit baffled to why the listener numbers have suddenly jumped up really enormously, nearly 3,000 a day. That's a lot of people listening now, and you're all very welcome. Okay, from me, my email address once again. Do join in, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'll see you on the next show. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye bye.